Most canine handlers that I know get very close to their dogs, especially when a dog saves your life, like he saved my life one time. So you get pretty close to somebody that saves your life. So I would be a liar to say that if I know somebody's in a house with a gun, I mean, I'm not sending my dog in after him. I mean, I'm not going to send him on a suicide mission. Actually, I was a dog trainer before I became a police officer. I trained dogs for probably 74 to 94, almost 20 years before I became a policeman. And that led me into police work. So I've been a canine officer basically 20 years. I personally have a belief that your dog should be part of the family, because if you really mimic what the dogs do in the wild, they're all big family. They don't walk each other up in different places. So when the interaction is at home between my wife and the dog, she's the alpha female, he's below her, and it's a good interaction. He knows where he stands in the pack, and he never gets put away. I mean, he might get told to leave. He never demands attention, and it's a good relationship. And that's why he listens to me so good at work. When I take him home, I take his stuff off, and he basically walks around with my other dog, and he's very possessive of me. My female dog that I have, he doesn't like her to come near me, and he'll let me pet her for a few minutes, but then right away he's telling her to go. He'll growl at her and stuff like that. I mean, there's some students that they like him, and there's some students that are afraid of him, and that's just the way it is, There's some of the bad kids are afraid of him. Most of the good kids want to pet him. General criminals, the dog really is a deterrent that we don't even sometimes know. Just the fact that they know the dog's there, Being a canine officer is very, very demanding. It's the only specialty division that you can't leave your equipment at the station. He's there all the time. It's a commitment. I have to take him to the vet. I have to bathe him. I have to take him outside and exercise him. I take my dog on vacation. I don't go anywhere where he can't go. I take him to the ocean. I've taken him to Deep Creek, taken him to Nemacolin in the Woodland, Seven Springs, Hidden Valley. I mean, he goes everywhere with me. But not everybody's ready for that. And I tell them, it's not for everybody. And we also have to teach them to bite different parts of the body, because they're not always going to get an arm. I had his first street bite was the guy was jumping an 8-foot fence and he caught the bottom of his foot. You know what I mean? So they're not always going to get an arm. He's a dual-purpose patrol and narcotics. Patrol consists of obedience, advanced obedience, article search, which is evidence search. I'm chasing you, you throw a gun or a knife, a wallet, and he can find it after we caught you without it. He can smell it out. A building search, a bad guy's in a building. An area search, a bad guy jumps out of a car, he runs into the woods. He also he'll track a lost person or track a bad guy. And then he'll do criminal apprehension. He'll chase somebody if I tell him to. And he also protects me and other officers, which is called handler protection. Then the narcotics, depending on the dog, I trained him to find back 6 different drugs. We had a string of armed robberies down on Gallatin Avenue. They were going on for probably about 3 months, same description of the actor. And I was working midnight shift with some officers, and we decided to set in different parts of the city and see if we could catch him. So I was in an alley. A buddy of mine was down towards Mama Maruka's on Gallatin Avenue, and a call came in for a robbery. It was the same MO. The guy was just getting people. He got one guy was shoveling snow. He got a retired school teacher who was just getting out of his vehicle, put a gun to their head, take your wallet, blah, blah, blah. So we got the call, same description, and we both flew down there, and my buddy calls me on the radio, and he says, I got one running in front of me. I think he has a gun. So I turned my headlights out, and as we were going up, I could see him, and he said, he's coming between 2 houses right at you. I jumped out of the car with him, and I'm looking, it was pitch black between the 2 houses, and I couldn't see him. And I sent Leo right away, and I didn't know it, but he was pulling out a gun, cocking it. I didn't know it at the time. I'm yelling for him to show me his hands. Jumped up on a porch. It was still too dark, and Leo hit him in the chest and knocked him over, and I didn't even see the gun. I went up and I cuffed the guy up. State troopers were behind me because they heard the call and they saw me flying. And they came and backed me up, and while I was cuffing the guy, one trooper said, "Hey, Mike, check out." And there was a cocked .357 Colt Python laying on the ground like 6, 7 feet from him. So, I mean, if Leo wouldn't have hit him, he'd have probably shot me, you know. So, yeah, I spoil him, you know. I mix deer meat in his dog food every day, twice a day, and he has a bed that a homeless person would like to sleep on. I mean, it's a nice bed. Yeah, they're spoiled. As canine handlers, we're taught and told over and over that the dog is a tool, and if he would die, it would be better than another officer. If I know a guy has a gun, I mean, then I'm going to deal with the guy myself, you know, because I am emotionally attached to him. You know, it makes you feel good, you know, that you're training, you know, put another bad guy away. Because really, in all, we're still playing cops and robbers, you know, like we did when we were little kids. You know, I'm still chasing bad guys, and that's just, we're older. You know what I mean? It's fun.